All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Technical issues. I was trying to play music here. We're not going to start if I don't hear anyone confirming. Please confirm if
Yeah,
you
we
hear me.
can.
All right, welcome. Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Chris, and I'm really glad to have you all join me today. Thank you so much. We'll start shortly. I can see a few persons on the call. But for now, you can invite your friends, invite your classmates, just share the link with everyone who you think will benefit from today's conversation. All right, everyone, welcome once again. My name is Chris, and I'll be your host for this evening. Welcome. So, as a bit of a welcome address, I would like to welcome everyone officially to the Grow event for this month. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if you would like to tell us where you're joining us from, whatever city or cities you're joining us from. I'll be really glad. Anyone, please, you can unmute your mic.
Good evening. My name is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Anongo Noah. I'm joining from Abuja.
Thank you so much, Noah. Any other person? If you're shy, you can just say it in the chat box. Okay, Diamond, over to you, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
My name is Matthew from Castina.
All right, thank you so much. We are so glad to have you join us today. Thank you so much. Any other person you'd like to tell us where you're joining
Good
us
evening,
from?
everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Raymond. I'm joining in from River State.
All right, good evening, everyone. Apologies, I had network issues there, but yeah, I'm here now. Thank you so much. So, Raymond, thank you. Without wasting much of our time, I'll just welcome everyone once again. Apologies, please confirm you can hear me. I had a problem with network, but I'm back. All right, thank you so much. So my name is Christopher. I welcome you. Yes, so that's the check-in question. So in the chat box, you just tell us your name, what country you love to visit, either as a tourist or you want to go on the scholarship, you want to go for a fellowship program or a job opportunity. Yeah. Anybody? So I would like to start with myself. Like I said earlier, my name is Chris, and yeah, I run Grow. I'll introduce Grow much later in today's meeting, but for now, I'd love to visit Sweden. And one of the reasons why I like to visit Sweden as a country is because as a young that's during my childhood, I met this really amazing Ghanaian who had been in Sweden for years. and he told me so much about the country, and it's a country that keeps fascinating me. So I'd like to go to Sweden or visit Sweden one day. And I would like to go there for school too, because I had the country's education system is really, really fantastic. So who else wants to go? You don't necessarily have to say it, but in the chat box, you could just tell us what country you like to visit. And I don't mind calling names. Yeah, at this point, I don't mind calling names, but if you like to.
Sorry.
All right, yeah, please,
I
Noah, please go over to you.
Okay.
Sorry, come again.
One country I would like to visit. I said one country. The country I would like to visit is Norway. Actually, Norway,
Norway,
and
interesting.
yeah, Norway, yeah, and it will be for school too as well, cause they have like their education is actually like really, really, really good in the country. So also I would also like to go there as a tourist too, cause I mean it's just a serene and beautiful country. So two things in one basically.
Oh, thanks for sharing, and Noah. So I see Abundance there. Abundance said he or she, sorry, would like to go to Germany for studies, which is really, really beautiful. Please, any other person, just a little check-in. Oh, Rome for tourism. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Abundance, this month. Any other person you like to tell us what country or countries you like to visit? And what, okay, yeah, Diamond Way, please, over to you. Diamond Way, over to you, yes.
It's one country I would love to visit is Singapore for maritime studies because their maritime field is very very good in terms of maritime. So I would love to visit that, and also the country is a very clean country. Compared to the country at least for us to experience new things outside Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. Any other person you like to share quickly in 1 minute? In 1 minute? Oh, Israel, over to you, please.
All right, good evening. So I'm Israel Leonard, and a country I would like to visit. So I think I have two countries in mind. First is the US for school, of course, and then Spain. So the thing is, a friend of mine kind of told me about the food in Spain, and for some reason I said, all right, it can be a fun trip. So I think for tourism and their food, I would love to go to Spain. But for school, it's definitely the US. Thank you.
Oh, I like the word definitely the US. That's really, really interesting. So thanks for sharing. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And Spain is also a very beautiful country. So many of us haven't been to these countries, but I like the fact that we are thinking as global talents. And it's really, really important we do this as young people, as young Nigerians. I was thinking this evening, oh, thanks for sharing that act of freedom. You like to visit Germany for postgraduate studies. So I was thinking this evening about Nigeria and how I said something, not like I'm not a patriot, not like I don't like the country, but I said something about how Nigeria has a way of frustrating someone. You guys will not understand the pain I've had to go through today just trying to host this event. So power went off since afternoon and I've had to look for places to charge. And it was exactly 8 p.m. they brought it today. And when I was even about running mad. So I was like, oh my God, Nigeria is not a funny place. And we as young people have a way of also being limited with everything happening right now in the country, the economy, the unemployment, the human capital development issues we have, and also infrastructure. There's no power. Internet has been really, really bad, like really, really bad. But still, we are Nigerians, and there's something about Nigerians that we are resilient people, and our resilience will always take us fast. So my chat for you before we come to our guests, I know they are really waiting right now to share so much with us, but before then, is as a young person, wherever you are, wherever stage of life you are right now, whatever stage of career you are right now, always see yourself as a global talent. See yourself as part of a global community. See yourself as a citizen of the world. Even though it might sound cliche, but see yourself that you have something out there that the world wants to, that you have to give to the world. basically. So yeah, thanks for listening to my pep talk. So yeah, I'm going to we'll go straight to the event proper, and I'd like to introduce, for those of you who just joining us for the first time. So yeah, meet Grow. Grow means great resources and opportunities for work. So Grow is actually an online platform that helps to provide and develop the employability skills and competence levels of young graduates in Nigeria. But we're not just looking at graduates, we're also looking at undergraduates. And Grow is there to help position young people in Nigeria to navigate the future. Just like what I've said earlier. So I work in human capital development. Human capital, I mean, I work around HR. And one thing we've identified, particularly with Grow, is that many young people in Nigeria do not have the skills, do not have the right community to develop themselves. You understand? Many young people are not really prepared for the world of work. They are not ready for, not like they are not prepared, but they don't have like the skills, the knowledge, and even the community. And that's why Grow is here, basically. So plan, or what we want to do with Grow, is to ensure that young people continue to develop themselves. So you're in the right place, you're in the right community as a member of the Grow community. We just want to see you become a better version of yourself. And if you've been a member of the community, you see that we share opportunities, we share information. We like to host events, community events, where young people can just come and become updated. And it's our plan to see how we can continue to scale this as young people. So yeah, thanks for joining us once again, and we're really, really glad. So about today's event, I would like to welcome you guys. So it's also, yeah, I'm also trying to say Happy New Year. Yeah, it's a new year. It's the first meeting we're having in the year 2026. And for January, we are trying to see how we can position our members, that's the Grow community, to shift them from a place of thinking local to seeing themselves as global citizens. So the theme of today's event is From Local to Global Opportunities in 2026. And the goal is that we want to set the tone for the year. I don't know what plans you have for the year. I don't know what you've written on your vision board. I don't know what you've written as a goal you want to achieve this year. But it's really, really important that you start to see yourself as a global talent. And the program here is just designed to help our community members, those who are even joining us for the first time, to rethink what is possible for them in 2026 by learning directly from young people who have successfully transitioned from local impact to global opportunities. So this session is not about perfection. It's not about you saying you've arrived. It's about just a conversation. So we are open to questions. We are open to feedback. We're open to engagements. Right now we're based in Abuja, but we have physical events just like what we had at the closing of last year. But this year we'll be having both physical and virtual events. And the essence of this community is basically for us to just have conversations as young people and to basically grow ourselves. So the event for today is basically about growth, experimentation, learning from mistakes, how to position yourself, and intentional decision making. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chris once again, and I hope we all came with our writing materials and notepad, and we came to basically learn from these young people. So without wasting much of our time, I'm just going to go straight to introducing our panel members for today. For today, we have, first of all, not in no particular order, by the way, we have Oyindamola Osunubi. If Oyindamola is on the call, can we hear your voice? Hi, Oyindamola.
Hi, Christopher. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
I don't know, I'm so happy to hear your voice. I think the last time I saw Oyindamola was at the Lagos Business School. That was in 2024. So Oyindamola and I were classmates at the Venture Management Program, and Oyindamola has been someone who inspires me. I remember the kind of conversations we had at LBS. In fact, when I found out that Oyindamola was at the EU sounding youth sounding board, I felt really like, wow, Oyindamola has really done pretty well for ourselves, and we're really glad to have you. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to read our bio quickly. So Oyindamola is a programs and communications strategist as well as a social entrepreneur committed to advancing a more equitable and prosperous Africa. She is the founder of Shapers Network Africa, through which she has trained over 4,000 young people across 9 African countries, including Nigeria, Rwanda, and South Africa, equipping them with the future of work skills and community leadership capacities. She holds a bachelor's degree in communication and language arts from the University of Ibadan and an executive mini MBA in entrepreneurship and business management from Faith Foundation, the Sheble Foundation for Women, and the Venture Management Program from the Lagos Business School. She's an alumna of the School of Politics, Policy and Governance, the the European Union Youth Sounding Board, where she's provided advisory on green and digital economy and policies, the United Nations Office of Counterterrorism Youth Engagement and Empowerment Program, where she presented policy recommendations on preventing violent extremism among young people at the 2024 YEP National Policy Dialogue. And she's also a community engagement exchange fellow, where she supported the civic touch project at Opportunity Lab in the United States of America, and she has been featured on the United Nations website, recognized by She Leads Africa and Donor for Africa, and she's received the Diana Awards for remarkable contributions to society. In fact, please let's welcome Damola. You could use your emojis, you could even unmute your mic and clap, and let's welcome Damola. Hi, Damola, welcome. We're really glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Damola, welcome. So I'll go to our next panelist, and that's Lasisi, Godwin Lasisi. Yeah, Godwin Lasisi. Hi, Godwin. Are you on the call? You could just unmute and say
hi. Hi, good evening. I trust you're good.
We're good. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Godwin Lasisi, how have you been? I don't know, you seem like a really busy person. You are a busy person. I follow you on Instagram and LinkedIn, and you're a really busy person. I'm really, really glad to have you. Without wasting much of our time.
Busier than I am. Well,
No, Godwin, let's not start this conversation on this call today. But thanks for joining us today. So Godwin Lasisi is a Nigerian and a globally recognized public health professional and a United Nations awarded SG advocate with over 5 years experience spanning grassroots implementation, diplomacy, and multilateral system. He has been recognized by the United Nations and the EU as a youth leader, driving health, education, climate, and youth development initiative, reaching over 70,000 young people globally. Godwin has represented Nigeria at high-level international platforms, including the United Nations General Assembly meetings 79 and 80, as well as the UN Climate Change COP consultation. He served as a youth advisor to the UNICEF General Limited, and UNESCO, the UN OCD Nigeria Champion, the ILO Occupational Safety and Health Strategic Forefront Youth Fellow, and a program manager at CAS Educational Foundation. He currently works as a business development officer at Sidani Group and has engaged with the ECOWAS, the African Union, GIZ, Microsoft, UNICEF, UNDP, WHO, UNOCD, UNESCO, the ILO, contributing to global and national policy processes, youth consultations, and evidence-based advocacy on public health, education, and climate action. Wow. Godwin, where do we start from? We're really glad to have you. I don't know how you do this. Maybe you tell us, but maybe in 1 minute, how do you have time to rest? Do you even have time to rest? Godwin would like to hear from you.
I mean, in all honesty, I would say God rested on the seventh day. So maybe I just and my name is Godwin. So,
yeah.
On the lighter note, maybe I rest once in 7 days. But I mean, I guess it's also just one of those things, the work-life balance. But yeah.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. Thank you so much, Godwin. Please, let's show Godwin that he's welcome in the Grow community. Let's share our emojis. You can unmute your mic and also clap and snap pros. Thank you so much, Godwin. We're glad to have you. And we have Joy. Joy. Hi, Joy. How you doing, Joy? Can you unmute your mic? We'd like to hear you. Your energy level, Joy. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Joy. How you doing?
I'm blessed.
Joy Joy is someone that inspires me. I've not met Joy in person, but we're part of this community called KGI. Myself, Joy, Lasisi, Godwin, and even Windamola, we're part of this community called KGI. KGI just had a way of bringing really powerful people together, and we're really glad to have you. So Joy is a feminist and entrepreneur. You know, Joy is someone who is, I don't know, I feel like Joy can be really political and very confident in our feminism. And yeah, so Joy is going to share some of our story with us today. So Joy is a survivor of sexual violence, a feminist, a social impact leader committed to advancing the rights of women and girls across Nigeria and Africa. She's the founder of Leadership and Ending Violence Against Women and Girls and the CEO of Resilient Joy Agro Farms. Joy works focuses on advancing sexual and gender-based violence, sexual and reproductive health rights, and economic empowerment through mentorship, advocacy program, and leadership program, and also free legal aid to survivors. Our initiative has reached over 21,000 women and girls. Joy holds a bachelor's degree in philosophy from Adekunle Ajasi University in the year 2024, a mini MBA from the Lagos Business School, and gender-focused training from the National Institute for Leadership and Ending Violence Against Women and Girls here in Abuja. As an agripreneur, she provides free poetry farming training to young girls to combat systemic poverty. Joy's accomplishment has not gone unnoticed. She has been named a global finalist for all 2024 Impact Award by Public Interest Registry in the United States of America at the Rising Star category. Joy is a recipient of the prestigious Princess Diana, which is the highest accolade that a young person can receive for activism and social change. She was also a delegate representing Nigeria at the 2025 UN World Summit for Social Development in Qatar through the Youth of Africa in 2025. We're glad to have you, Joy. Hi, Joy. Welcome. Joy, I'd like to ask this question. Do you have time to rest?
I used to rest. I practice self-care a lot.
Oh, interesting. Oh, now, do you find time to rest? Let's start this conversation from there. Do you guys find time to rest? Because the work you guys do seem like a lot.
Yes, I try to find time to rest. I mean, rest is crucial. You need to rest. It can be hectic sometimes, but I try to rest.
Thank you. So now we're going to start the conversation. I'll just stop sharing my screen so we don't get distracted. We're not supposed to take so much time for today's event. At most in the next 30, 45 minutes, we should be done with this meeting. So I know I've read the profile of all our speakers and facilitators for this evening, but I would just like to start by asking, is this a general question? And I would like to start with Joy. Hi, Joy. So can you tell us like a little bit about your story? What local problem did you identify that has made you a global phenomenon today? There's no way you want to talk about young people doing great things in Nigeria today that you won't talk about, Joy. I would just like to hear your story very briefly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And I will try to be brief as much as possible, because whenever I have the opportunity of speaking to young people, I just love talking about myself, especially what led me into what I'm doing. You see, at some point in individual's life, you are going to find out that there are situations that you need to turn it around to create a meaningful impact out of it. So the early part of my life and what influenced what I do began from the fact that I experienced systemic poverty. You know, as a girl child, I had no option but to live with someone else. I when I was 13 years, and living with them was not as if it was something I was happy with, but I had no option at that particular period. So that my education can be catered for, I just wanted access to education. And someone from nowhere took advantage of me because of that, because he knows I don't have option. So growing up, the community I also grew in also influenced what I do. I grew up in a highly violent environment that women are always battered and nothing is going to happen. So because of this, I told myself that when I grow up, in fact, eventually I was not even up to 18 before I found my voice, I found my purpose. I will use my platform to empower women. I will use my platform to be the voice for the voiceless. I'm going to use my platform to ensure that those women and girls that are not seen, they are seen, they are heard. And my level of my confidence grew better when I was young as 15. And that was what formed the basis of the work I do.
So
Thank you.
much. Yeah, thanks for sharing. So thank you so much for sharing that, Joy. Thank you. I'll come to Lasisi, God will Lasisi, in very few minutes. Just tell us your story, basically. What local problems did you identify, and what steps did you take in preferring solutions to this problem that has now made you who you are today? You're at COP, you're at Nuga, you're representing Nigeria, and yeah.
Okay. Thank you again so much for having me. It is indeed a pleasure to be a part of this conversation, also with phenomenal minds like Oyindamola and then Joy. I mean, you yourself, Chris, as well as everybody else on this call. So for me, also, it's quite a long story, like everyone else's, right? But personally, I think my story would probably premise from the fact that I saw I got to firsthand experience the impacts of limited exposure, right? The fact that you can only be as much as you know, the fact that the extent to which you know determines in many ways how far you will go. So as an individual, the kind of opportunities I'm exposed to, the kind of people that I'm exposed to, the kind of things that I know, in many ways influences how far I get ahead in life or in whatever field I decide to throw myself in, right? And so for a long time throughout university, there were times that I wouldn't say, in all honesty, I had passion for development work or social impact work or changing the world, as you would say. But as I then, one of the few things I did was just, I can only remember for once volunteering to give out food to persons who are on the streets, to the Almanjiris and all of that. So I just found myself volunteering for more or less charity, I would say charity causes, right? Causes that helps benefit the people of the community and all of that. And that was stuff I did sparingly. For me, as I then, there was a disconnect between that purpose of, oh, I love to do charity work, and then how that even in many ways influences how I go about navigating a career or building a life for myself. So that's on one end, right? And then leaving university, first is to say I graduated the first class, but in all honesty, in many ways, that first class was just the start of it. In many ways, it did not channel or change the world for me because I went to serve in Abuja. I was posted to serve in Abuja. And then I can't even tell you, I mean, we're all Nigerians on this, so I can't tell you the number of breakfasts that I chop, right? The love letters I got in trying to get a PP, a place to serve. I swear to you, it's not one, it's not two, it's not three. Officially, I had about 15. I did not get a PPA until a PPA, for those who are on this call. I don't know if everybody has served through NYSC, but it's your primary place of assignment. So I did not get a place to serve, place to work for 6 months. And throughout that period, it was just constant rejections. Even before the rejections, I mean, it was after all of those rejections, I had to intentionally begin to find my way around. Also, what organizations do I need to apply? Or what kind of skills do I need to get so people see me of value? And this is, mind you, having a first class. So, but before all of this, when I got posted to Abuja, I, in my head, it was, oh, I have a first class job is waiting for me. I'll be hot cake, right? But the honest truth was, that was really just me building castles in the air. Of course, there are persons who are lucky to be posted to places where they get accepted right immediately, right? But the honest truth, it doesn't work like that. For many people, for the most part of us, it doesn't work like that. So you have to intentionally carve out a path for yourself. Now, leaving university, I mean, look at my profile, but as I then, I swear to you, I can't name two places where I would say I want to work. When I'm saying two places, I'm not even talking about international. I'm saying one right here in Nigeria. I can't boldly say if I saw the CEOs of those organizations or the head of those agencies today, I can recognize them and say, oh, I want to work. If I imagine, say, I had a magic wand that would make them do whatever I say. So that was how deep my lack of exposure was. That was how deep I would say my ignorance was. I did not have any clue as to how to, one, even identify opportunities. Second is even know the gatekeepers of these opportunities. So that's what I'd call them. If, for instance, today I want to go into, say, agribusiness or go into entrepreneurship or do some work around gender-based violence, I'll probably reach out to Joy, right? Because I know she's had a lot of experience in it. If I'm looking for someone who is breaking into the consulting space, who has a lot of experience in climate change, I'll probably come to you, Chris. Even when it comes to comms and a lot of like international engagement, I'll probably go to Oyindamola. So, but the honest truth was, as at then, all of this did not exist. I did not know who thrived in this space, who has gotten experience and all of that. And so all of that would now influenced how I went about going for opportunities, because for what I did not know, I could not access, right? Mind you, before then, persons probably might know me today on LinkedIn or wherever. But leaving university, I did not have LinkedIn, I did not have Instagram, I did not have Twitter. And so maybe I'll round up with my story so I don't take so long. But I think went to camp in May. I left camp early, late May. And then June, July was rejections, but around July, I had attended the conference here in Abuja in Transcorp, where that was focused on the SDGs, was World Youth Skill Day organized by ILO, UNICEF, and a couple of the guys, Nigeria Youth SDGs Network, and a couple of them. And so, in summary, what that conference did for me was it exposed me to the kind of person that I wanted to be like. Persons who I saw just by looking at them. I did not know them, but just by looking at them, by hearing them speak, I just knew that these are persons I wanted to be like. I did not know if it was rituals they did, if it was armed robbery, but just from how they look and how they spoke, the kind of environment where I saw them. Um, that was my first time being in Transcorp as well. So for me, it was like all of those experiences just really gave me reality check that so there's a life like this. There are persons like this. And so right there at that conference, one of the first things I did was it was at that conference I first met Tony Cole, who is like one of the co-founders of Sarah Group, is a billionaire, right? And I'll round up with this. There are three questions I asked myself at that conference that changed my life. One was if there are persons who I want opportunities from, or persons who could change my life, can I recognize them? Because I mean, Tony Cole came up the stage to speak, and I did not know it was Tony Cole. It was until his name was called. I heard him speak. I was like, oh, this person looks really amazing. He dressed really great. He looked really good. And then I Googled Tony Cole, and first thing I saw was billionaire. I say, Yigba, right? This is someone that can change my life, and I can't even recognize him. So how many more persons like that have I probably met in my lifetime? And these are persons that I could connect with. It's not like saying I don't have value. I do have value, but do these people even know? So that was one. And so doing cool at that place spoke about elevator pitch, and right there at that conference was something I began to implement immediately. How do I even begin to network with people at conferences? How do I extend my value? How do I show that I'm excellent and all of that? So that's one. Second was Aisha Tofa, who spoke about LinkedIn, right? Spoke about a platform that connects young people to professionals, to industries, was a really professional space. And then maybe third was Shegun Tech and a couple of other persons really. And all of what that conference did for me bettered my story professionally, because I mean, prior to that, I'd been doing volunteering in charity, I'd been doing some research work, I'd been managing some projects, but it was not coherent. It was not all put together. And there was limited knowledge, limited exposure. But at that conference, immediately I went to, so I had gone to open up a LinkedIn account, opened Instagram, opened up Twitter, and then it started off from there. I'd followed everybody that came through the conference, who I'd admired. And then with algorithm, what it would do is, because I'm following Chris, you probably suggest Joy or suggest Oyedamola, and persons also in their circle. So like that, I began to know about persons I did not know before who do the kind
Yeah.
of things that I wanted to do. And like
Thank
that, so
you.
I thought to myself, with conferences, if I attended was one conference and it gave me this level of clarity, or if I attended 20, or if I attended 30. And so rounding up with my series, I say moving forward, I just intentionally began to do from then was, how do I constantly put myself in an environment where I'm forced to learn, where I'm forced to
Hmm.
grow, where I'm forced to know about things that I want to do. And I think maybe for the better part of my life, that's what has changed me, because from then henceforth, just knew I needed to be in places, rooms, conversations with friends, in circles, whatever it is that just exposes me to new knowledge and opportunities. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, Godwin. So I'll come to Oyindamola. Hi, Oyindamola. Yeah, we were pressed for time, but in a very short, let's say 2-3 minutes, can you just share your story with us? What local problems did you identify, and what steps did you take in providing solutions to that problem that has made you a young person who can sit on the the EU youth sounding board. You sat on different boards for young people, providing policy and advisory services. We'd like to hear your story in very short minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. So for me, it's a series of connecting stories, but started when I was in the university. Before I entered the university, I had, heard about people living triangular life, like they go to class, then they go to their place of worship, and then they go to their hostel. And in a way, I made up my mind that it was not going to be me. I wasn't going to go spend 4 or 5 years on campus, and the only thing I do is live that triangular life. So I had that in mind. Then when I got into school, 100 level, then 200 level, then COVID happened, the pandemic happened, and as a student of a federal university, we were at home. There were no, at least my uni didn't organize virtual classes then. For I think those 10 months we were at home. And before then, I'd always had a natural flair for writing, so I'd been, hanging out with some of my classmates who were writers, joined the writing club, who also got writing gigs and all of that. So, but the pandemic, no classes to go to, so we were at home. That was when I really, really found, you know, the power of the internet, the opportunity of the internet, because I spent more time on my phone. I mean, I remember that was when I opened an X account, started following people, reading their thoughts, learning more, and I started learning skills to myself, and even was making money in that period with my writing skill and all. So I was making money, I was learning about a lot of things online, following people, sharing quality content, relevant stuff. I attended quite some conferences and webinars that also helped shape my thinking and exposure then. And um, towards the close of that year, 2020, I also just began organize some free classes myself on how I think young people can maybe learn skills and also um and support themselves. And then 2021 came and I saw that around me, particularly in uni and school, many people who had phones, they didn't know what to do with those phones beyond chatting, taking pictures, watching movies, and all of that. And like this is a tool which can be much more. This is a tool which can be much more. I've experienced it myself. I've seen it myself, from learning more about what we were taught in classes, even gaining skills and experience and knowledge outside classes. So, I began sharing these thoughts on something my WhatsApp status. Sometimes I was not too active then on social media, and I was always on and off because of the things I was doing. But I was sharing my thoughts. I organized some classes, some I trained some people online, I spoke at some webinars, events, and gradually that was how we started to me then applying for opportunities, getting them, and then the work started growing, preparing, training people for the future of work, just making them see beyond those four walls of the classroom, and I prepare for the life beyond school. And it all started from there. So that's what has grown over the years till this present moment. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that, Windamola. I don't know if we thank you, Sumaya, but if we've been listening so far, you see like there's a pattern in everything that's been said so far. I think one major thing I will take from this first conversation we've had with our panelists is the importance of number one, discovering yourself. That moment where you have to step back and at least do some reflection. There's a lot of noise happening right now in the world, and many young people are just navigating life through noise. But I think from what Lasisi, Joy, Windamola have said so far, it's really important that as young people, we number one, take a step to think about where we want to go. I was listening to something a mentor shared with me earlier today, and she said something that learning and leadership is also loneliness. There are times where, as a young person, as a leader, you have to step back and have certain conversations with yourself. So it's really, really important. And thank you so much for sharing that. So it leads us to the next question we'd like to know. Windamola, Joy, let's see, you've all shared so much in the process of you sharing your story. You've kind of answered, provided answers to the other questions, had prepared, but we would like to talk about skills right now. Skills, what skills mattered more for you guys? What skill mattered the most? Looking at where you are right now on the global stage, were they technical skills, were they soft skills, were they transferable skills? What skills played a role in opening doors? And why we're asking this is because there's this conversation. It's not like it's new, but it's been there. You want to get employment, even like CC attested to that, you want to get a job, you want to get to where decisions are made, you need to have certain skills. So we want to know as young people, what skills had made you all stand out to become really outstanding young people today? And I'd like to start with Joy. Hi, Joy, over to you. What skills made you stand out? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Like I said before, everybody, our paths are different. What made us, what defines us, what made us, our identity, and what brought us into what we are doing. Our stories are different. I will always buttress everything about my life. Currently, what I'm doing was because of the experience I went through as a young child. I have always been a very bold, confident, outspoken child right from the onset. But you know, when something traumatic just happened to you and everything just wipe off. So for young people, I will always say, know what you want to do for yourself. That is when you can know the areas in which you want to develop yourself. If you are in health, sit down, ask yourself. That is where the place of mentorship comes in. If you want to grow very fast as a young person, look for a mentor that has gone far ahead of you in that field. Sometimes you might not even be able to get a mentor that can support you. You can just go online. You can see what this person is doing, and it is in line with what you want to be. Take your time to go through their profile. What are the things they are doing every day? So for me now, I have always been an entrepreneur, right from when I was a child. The first money I made, I knew I made money. It was 20 naira. I was in Premier 2. I wrote notes for one of my classmates then. The note was much, and he paid me 20 naira. The 20 naira was a big money then. So when I got to, my mom asked me, where did you see this money, Joy? I cannot lie, because she used to give us 5 naira, 10 naira to school. Imagine somebody not giving you 20 naira. So I said I wrote notes for someone in the class. She said, okay, that's good. I was still a child, so she does not want my mind to be too exposed to money. Then the place of gender came in because of my experience as a survivor. So for me, as a gender advocate and sexual reproductive health right advocate, very important. You need a very good communication skills. Not just coming to use digital space to rant, to do this. Those that you are offering your services, that is the survival support. How well can you communicate with them? You need policy development skills. If you are brought up to a table, we want to shape this policy like the VAP Act. We are bringing you on this, we are bringing you in to shape this policy that is going to affect millions of Nigerian women and girls. What are you going to do? Thirdly, research skills. You must be able to research. You must be able to, I don't just research about writing alone, but you must be able to identify those that have been affected by that social problem. Okay, you want to address money marriage. You want to address GBV. You want to address female genital mutilation. You must be able to do, you must be able to carry out community survey. And when you are going to these communities to address this issue, how well can you communicate with them? How open are you? So everything lies on communication. When I had my internship with Baobab, what they did for us mostly was for we to attend events. And whenever you go for that event, you must submit reports. So you're going there, you're not just going there to just go and listen to talks. My boss, Mrs. Tipos Lami, she will tell you, you are going there to train yourself. Because when you are on the practical field of responding to GBV cases, be it on campus or within your community, how do you want to handle it? Now let's come to the entrepreneurship part. If you go through my profile, you will always see that energy in advocating for women empowerment. So as a young woman, you cannot be around me and tell me you don't have a skill. You cannot tell me you are jobless. It's not possible. Look at yourself. What can you do? When I was in the university, I was a hairstylist. That act of writing notes and doing assignment for people right when I was in secondary school, I took it to the university. That's my colleagues. I will always write assignments for them, do project for them. I know how to write proposal, but I was not really writing thesis. I can write properly. So young people should look at themselves. What problem is around you? What problem is in your community? And stick to it. I will see some people, they'll be doing gender. As they're doing gender, they're in climate. As they're in climate, they're in decent work. This, and this. They're in education. They can combine like 5, 10 SDGs together. Don't confuse yourself. So that you'll be able to develop the right skill that is needed on that field, on that area. If you come in and that joy, I want you to sit on a board for gender. Oh, trust me, I'm the best person to be there. If you come in now, okay, we want to organize building capacity program for young people in agripreneur. Trust me, I have my detailed research. In fact, this year, I've trained more than 50 young people in poultry farming already. And my next course is coming on board very soon too. So sit down, and beyond this, I found that for me to be able to fit and do what I'm doing properly, I need to upgrade my academic skills. So I had to look out for scholarship last year, Ventures in Management Program. Oyinda Mola said she was there last year, and I think you too, you were there. Apart from that, I had undertaken a lot of business trainings that I know so well that this training is going to help me. I attended a conference online. Okay, this person, what is she doing in her space? And in turn, I convert everything to ensuring that young girls are empowered. So every day, I'm always doing consultation services in business. I make money every day. So for me,
Thank you.
I would say, sorry, let me round up. I would say problem solving skills, check your environment, what problems lies there. Communication skills, how well can you communicate? Writing skills, very important. If you don't know how to write, you will always be rejected. So if you don't know how to write, go and take English or grammar classes that can aid and assist your writing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you. I don't know. I'm going to send my account number. Since you make money every day, I'm going to send my account number. But thank you so much for sharing that, Joy. I could feel your energy, your passion. Thank you. So I'm going to call to Lasisi. I don't know. I like to call you Lasisi because it sticks so well, and that's the name I started calling you before when we started talking. So Lasisi, what skill matter? In fact, you've kind of talked about this a bit. You got there with the first class. You came to Abuja. I don't know. Me and you kind of had similar stories. I came to Abuja last year. I had a first class too, and I was being rejected across 3 years. But what skills, Lasisi? This is not about me right now. It's about you. What skills made you stand out? Yeah, we would like to hear that. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So first off, is in all honesty, I would say it's not even just about me, it's about us, Chris, right? It's about us because it really happens to the best of us, and literally everyone in particular, because um, it just gets to a point when you are faced with challenges, or you're trying to scale up or navigate your career, and then for a period as critical as NYSC, you get those rejections, you get those no's. So first off, I'll start with in terms of skills. I would just really skip about everything that Joy has said because there's no need to buttress. So of course, there's a problem solving skills needing to identify a gap in your community, in your workplace, whatever it is. And that speaks not just primarily to even saying because you want to work in the SDG space or you want to work in development. I work in 9 to 5. I mean, you could see on my profile that I work an actual job aside from doing all of the UN thing or the SDG ambassador, blah, 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 blah. I work an actual job, right? And so even in the corporate space, you work in an office and in a corporate environment, is there a gap in that organization that you can feel, right? And the only way you can feel that is if you've compounded skills that you've trained in over a period of time. And so speaking to skills, I'll probably elucidate this in maybe just one example. Now, over the past couple of weeks, there's been a trend on 2016, throwback to 2016, 10 years ago, right? And we see how most of the persons we admire today, I mean, in different spaces, really, from the music industry to the health industry to corporate life to really everybody that would say, for lack of a better word, really admire for the kind of lives that they've achieved for themselves today. We see that 2016, which is 10 years ago, for many of these persons, they were doing what they are doing today, except that it was not on a global scale. They've not been globally recognized as at then, right? So in all of these, one of the things I made sense out of was the compound interest of competency and skills applies to everything that we do, right? So for you, whether or not you want to go into health or you want to go into climate change or whatever it is, there is a need to identify key persons in your field. Now, one of the major things I did when I opened LinkedIn was, and opened our social media was, who are the top persons in my field, right? If I don't have a PPO, I do not have a job, I'm trying to navigate my career, who are the top persons in my field who already have jobs, who already travel out of the country, who already have fully funded trips, who already win grants, who live the kind of lives that I want to live? Who are these persons? Because they exist, that's the honest truth. But like me, I did not know about like it's possible to actually look for these persons until I attended that conference. But the honest truth is that they exist. If I went on Google right now and searched top 10 public health professionals in Nigeria, top 10 people would come out. If I search top 10 public health professionals in Abuja, they would come out. Top 10 conferences focused on health in Abuja, it would come out. And I can begin to expand the reach globally in Africa and all of that. And so in identifying these people, these spaces, what happens is you can track their lifestyles, track the skills that they've honed, right? And so in opening all of this account, one of the things I did was identify these people, and I went to their LinkedIn. And I think many persons underestimate the power of LinkedIn. In all honesty, I swear to you, I feel like that app is a cheat code to life. It's going to take a while, of course, nothing happens overnight, but I promise you, for persons who commit to that app with honesty, because and we are not talking about the persons who just go there to go and do, I'm happy to announce I cleaned my room today. No shade to anyone, right? But there are more strategic and productive ways to engage with that app. Right? Because that's the honest truth. We look at what we see on LinkedIn today. Some people just want to go there and say, oh, I'm happy to announce. And I mean, life really goes beyond that. Because I mean, it's happened to me multiple times where I see people, oh, this person is always doing, I'm happy to announce. So he speaks well of himself on LinkedIn. And in real life, this person can't hold a conversation. This person is not an expert in a field that he sees he's in. Right. So, but with LinkedIn, what you can do is there are persons you can identify, persons who are accomplished, right? You can't tell me someone who has won a Nobel Award or who has won awards at COP or at UNGA, it lives like fake life or is not competent in this. So there are persons like this who consistently have shown their competency in their field. And their lives are on LinkedIn. You could see the schools they went to, you could see the skills they've grown, you could see the places they volunteered, you could see the courses that they've taken. And I think that's a great start, right? If you look at this person's lives, I see it's called mentorship observation. I mean, for instance, for like climate change and communications, you want to be looking at someone like Global Team. What kind of courses has she taking? This lady has a YouTube channel where she has literally given the cheat code to everything that she did till she got up onto where she is. Looking at public health, you want to be maybe looking at persons like Dr. Banda, who is, I mean, globally recognized in Africa, he schools at John Hopkins. You want to look at persons like Dr. Julius Oni. I mean, he was also at John Hopkins, but he's now back in Nigeria and he's doing amazing things with his own orthopedic firm. So in every field, for instance, in education, you are probably looking at someone like Larry Shipper of Area I, right? So in every field, really, there are the giants of this field who have built expertise and competency. So it's now on you to basically walk the paths of these persons, right? So for me, I think beyond, of course, the skills of competency in terms of identifying a gap like problem solving, you want to have critical thinking skills, you want to be up to date in terms of technologies in your field. For instance, in education, there are certain tools that you should be able to use. I mean, of course, you do research. So what's stopping you from knowing how to use XPSS? Because it gives you an edge. In climate change, there are documents that you should know like the back of your hand. You should be able to speak to the Paris Agreement or the Kyoto Protocol and all of this. So there are, and again, that's why I said, like Joyce said, it's really diversified. For every field, there are granular skills that you need to have, right? And it's up onto you to go do that research and hone yourself in those skills over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Take those courses, go for those conferences, learn from these people who have honed those skills over time. And then personally, I just feel like it's a matter of time, right? Because if you consistently build skills in these areas, then you begin to become an authority. One of the major reasons why people would say, oh, Godwin is an SDG ambassador today, or is a UN ambassador, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a staff of the UN, but what has helped me was, aside from the interest I have in the diplomatic space or international relations, I consistently speak about it from a point of experience, from a point of expertise. I've been on policy tables with diplomats, right? And it's not just saying, oh, I'm happy to announce I spoke to the UN resident coordinator today. I talk about the actual input that I made to the document. I talk about the actual contributions that I've done, right? I can speak to the competency that I have. There are links to publications that I've done. So I think evidence is also key in talking about competency, which is why I think maybe the last skill I'll talk about is documentation, right? So you might have skills, you might have competency in fields, but I think it's really going to be beneficial if you have that documentation part of the work that you do or the skills that you've grown, because documentation is also a skill, whether it's through social media or through a Google Drive or through identifying strategic places where you can speak about your work. I think it will do a lot of good, because then people can now begin to attach you to a skill. If I consistently see you at the health-related conferences, then I know this person is in health. If I consistently see you in educational kind of conferences, then I know, okay, this person is in education. And I'm more likely to bring you on board when I see opportunities like that, right? So I think for me, that's also something that you might want to look: documentation, problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, networking skills, because you should be able to find out persons who are good at what you do, learn from them, and also engage. So I think for me, that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A round of applause for Godwin there. I'm going to go to Oindamola. Hi, Oindamola. Now we're talking skills. I know you've heard from Lasisi, you've heard from Joy. What's your thoughts on this?
Okay, I think Godwin and Joy already did great justice to the issue of skills, even touched on a couple of things I would like to mention. But I'll just mention two things in addition, like they already mentioned, the growth mindset. Whatever skill it is, whether it's a technical skill, whether it's soft, you must have that mindset that you should be constantly learning, you should be constantly growing, that your intelligence is not fixed, it is expandable. So whatever stage you are at, whether you are forming or formed, you still keep growing. You mentioned some people, and what is interesting about those people is like you see that they are also always learning too, always learning. And then the second I would like to mention is one of my friends would say, have a bias for execution. As you learn, also execute. do not delay. Try to reduce the distance between you having an idea or you learning something and executing. So execute. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't progress over perfection really. So that growth mindset and then rapid with the execution. So you can really iterate and move a lot faster than someone who's just just finished thinking. So that's what I would add for to what Godwin and Joy already said. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you, Indamola. That was really profound. Godwin, Joy, Oyindamola, you guys have really shared gems with us this evening. I really like the part of execution because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. We have so many wonderful ideas. We've tested our problem solving skills. We've done research. We've identified problem in the community. But now, what steps do you take to address some of these problems? So I think execution was where what hit the nail on the head for me. But thank you. So we have about 2 more questions to go. They will call it a day. And I would like to start with Oyindamola on this. So Oyindamola, I would like to know beliefs you had to unlearn. And when we are using beliefs, we are trying to look at the mindset. They are like when I started this meeting this evening, I said we need to see ourselves as young people. Like it's very important that we see ourselves as global citizens. We see ourselves as people who can provide solutions to global problems. And for you to even do that as a young person, you need to have the right kind of mindset. So maybe I really don't have answers to what the right kind of mindset is, but thank God we have you guys there and we're all going to share our thoughts on this. But Windabla, I would like to know, then I'll come to Godwin and Joy. What moments really changed how you thought about growth, failure, or even global opportunities?
Okay, so for me, I started out with a conviction deep in my own spirit that this was my path. This aligned with my path. This aligned with my journey in life. So I grew to that level of conviction. I recently I was doing some evaluation and I was looking back at when I had an idea and when I executed, what happened between that period and all. And I see that I grew in conviction. And when I grew in that conviction that, oh, this aligned with my journey, this aligned with my path, it was easy for me to, stand up and take action. It was easy for me to find the courage to do certain things. It was easy for me to trust in myself, trust in my ideas, trust in their potential to create the impact that I wanted. So as a person of faith, that level of conviction really helped me. Seeing that it aligned with my journey really helped me. Then second for is that also, like I mentioned, you just have to learn, you have to grow, you have to be teachable. You won't know everything, you will make mistakes. It will seem so challenging sometimes, so tough. It will be like you're not even making a dent in what you are doing. Like, inspire me that many other people in this space, or what you're doing is not even, doesn't even count, or things like that. But you just have to keep learning, you have to keep growing. So that growth, that mindset of growing, I also had to learn that, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. Okay, I can't do it yet. If I learn it, I'll be able to do it. Maybe not perfect at first, but as I keep at it, I'll eventually become good at it and be able to do it. Then the third also that I had to unlearn was believe that I wasn't qualified for this or qualified for that. I also had a couple of rejections myself, and one even really hit me that I was like, I was expecting to get in for this. Like I knew, like I knew my name. I was so convinced, but eventually it did not happen. But a bigger one than that happened. So I just knew that I would not self-reject myself, no matter the case. I won't be the one to self-reject myself. I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to go for it. I as also as person of faith, I do say something like the Lord is my qualification and my qualifier. So no no one can reject, no system can reject me. And as long as this aligns with my path, I'm going to get it because I'm qualified to get it based on that conviction. So I told myself I won't be the one to self-reject myself. So I go for it. Whether I feel 100% qualified or not, or whether I feel 100% eligible or not, as long as it clicks within me that this I could gain something in this room, I go for it. Then also another belief I want to learn is that everything is not necessarily meant for you. Because truth be told, trying to get into every program, go to every conference, attend every webinar, join every community, you don't need that much, really. You don't need that much. Because if you are everywhere, then you are nowhere. You won't be rooted. And when you are not rooted, you can't rise. So you don't need that much. So you have to be able to do that constant work of knowing, selecting, really, like intentionally curating what you read, what you join, where you attend. Where it's not everything you need. It's not everyone you need to follow. It's not everyone you need to learn from. Just putting yourself in that kind of state will hinder your growth than help it. So when you have to curate, you curate what is for your own journey and then you stick to it. You get more results even faster and even easier than trying to be everywhere or be everything or do everything or be with everyone. It doesn't work that way. So I had to really learn that, okay, I see something, this, I don't think this is for me. Okay, I don't think I want to, this is not my direction, or this is not my path, or this is not my journey. So it really helps make the journey easier, because even just sticking to your path, just align with your journey, is challenging, because you'd have to learn, you'd have to face challenges and all. So trying to now be everywhere, just increasing the workload
Um,
on you. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much, Damola. Thank you. I really enjoyed what you shared there. Thank you. I'll go to Joy quickly. Hi, Joy. So what beliefs do you have to unlearn? What moments changed how you thought about growth, failure, and also global opportunities?
Come again, please.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I said, what beliefs changed? What beliefs do you have to unlearn as a young person? And what moments changed what you thought about growth, what you thought about failure, and also global opportunities?
Okay, all right. So for me, I would say that I have unlearned the belief that one person can make a difference. I say that belief that one person cannot make a difference. I talk about the kind of community I grew up as a child. If I'm opportunity to go back to that community today, I am so sure that some women they will almost pull down their wrappers, because I was more or less like the light that came to that community. I was more or less like the light. I was more or less like the channel in which strong laws were passed against women violation. I was more or less like the light in which some women and girls started redefining their status. They start seeing the importance of, I don't have to be sitting down for my husband to be providing for me. So I know the kind of community I was coming from. So those were the things I learned, because when I was growing up, like I said, I really struggled with imposter syndrome. I struggled with mental health disorder because of what had happened to me. So I really lost belief in myself that, do I really think I can do this thing? Even when I wanted to step forward to do it, my dad alone, that kind of fear of, if you try this thing, I'm going to finish you. That one alone was there, but I did it afraid and I got something good. Also, another thing that also changed me was that, seeing the impact on survivors. I've seen a woman that her husband beat her just because she asked money for the children, to take the children to the school, and that was all. It led to beating. That one was it's a long story for another day. But for the fact that I was able to use my voice, my capacity, and my strength to get the man arrested, it was not just a small thing. The man was charged to court. That one alone is a redefining moment for me. That if one person comes forward to say, I want to create this change in my community, you don't really have to do something big. You can just do that thing within your own circle, within your own community. Also, I connected with like-minded individuals. I built so much connection. That was in 2022 during Female and More Social Impact Fellowship. I made a lot of friends, meeting like someone like Blessing Hallins, Ruth Key, a lot of them like that, and we're able to build community. Some are far away. Another thing that really about let's come to the global path now. In 2023, I participated at the Young Historian competition. Sincerely, my goal was going there to win this competition. There was travel opportunity with money that was also attached to it too. But unfortunately, at the semi-finals, I was dropped. I would say I was dropped due to some inconsistencies in the judging in the judging system. I believe so well that I was qualified enough to be the winner for the Young Historian competition. But that just only taught me how to manage rejection. I could not win. I was rejected. But being a finalist for 2024.org Impact Award at Rising Star category, and I was the youngest globally, it increased, it boosted my confidence. It really told me that, Joy, well done. You don't have to give up because of disappointment. And so many of that international opportunity disappointment that I've had, some that I wasn't able to raise my flight ticket, some was visa disappointment. The first opportunity I got was even because of my international passport. So all these things shifted my mindset from self-doubt.
Hi, Joy. I think we lost Joy a bit there. Joy, can you hear us? All right. All right.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Joy, if you can hear us, we can't hear you at the moment. Yeah, we can hear you
Can you hear
now.
me, please?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear you now.
I also have the mindset of there is nobody I cannot connect with. I used to have the mindset of any room I step into, I can talk to anybody. I can meet with anybody. I can get the business card for anybody. Initially, about 2 or 3 years ago, I always see these people that have gone far ahead of me. That, oh, can I be there? Can I be there? But I had this mindset of any seat anybody is, I too can sit there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you. I don't know, whenever Joy talks, you could just feel the energy and the passion. Thank you. So I'm going to go to Lasisi quickly. So Lasisi, your response to this question, moments that changed how you thought about growth. I know you kind of shared a little bit about this in your introduction, but you could just give us like specific moments that shaped how you think about growth, your thoughts on failure, rejections, and particularly global opportunity as a young person.
Okay, yeah, so I maybe pretty quick with mine because I know we're also running down on time. Aside from everything everyone has said, I'd probably speak to mine maybe in two ways. So first is for rejections. I'm not going to lie to you that I'm mature now. There are rejections that I get today. I would still sit down in my room for like hours, probably until the next day, depending on how deep the breakfast comes. And I would just think and beat myself over it, right? It happens to me like all the time. In January alone, I mean, today's 31st, I've probably received about, last I was counting was 15 in January alone, right? And after those 15, there's probably like two that I think really hurts me, right? And then for me, the question is, oh, great. So like I beat myself over it, the rejections are there, but like, okay, and so what's like, what happens next? Would that probably be the end? So I just keep on applying. Like if I'm mad today, I did not get an opportunity. Um, what's going to happen is if I keep on being mad and if I keep on being down, then I still would lose many more to come. So we move again next year. So there's an opportunity I've been applying for the past 2 years. It's a health focused opportunity in Switzerland. I applied in 2024. I was rejected. Last year I was also rejected. This year again is going to open and I'll still apply again. Like we move, right? So the honest truth is opportunities, I don't think in terms of rejection, it gets any easier. What happens is you outgrow them, right? You still get to feel it, but the honest truth is, I do personally is I look for more opportunities. So if I get 2 rejections, I'll apply for 3 more, right? Because then it increases my odds. If I applied for 10 opportunities and I miss 5, there's a chance that I'd get 5. But if I apply for just 1, that 1 means if I get rejected, then that's the end. Maybe I can get it fine, but what if I do get rejected, which is also a very valid possibility, because I'm not the only person that's good, right? There are also a lot of other persons who thrive at the work that they do. So for me, I think in terms of opportunities and rejections, it's really a game of chances and odds. The more you try, the more you increase your odds to win. So you apply for 10, what are the chances that you get 1 out of 10? It's pretty high, rather than applying for 1 or 2. So that's speaking to rejections, right? For me, it's I just increase the chances. That's what I do. When I get rejections, I just apply for more. If it hurts me, I watch a movie, or I play table tennis, or I sleep, and then we move again, right? And then in speaking to like lessons globally, honestly, I think maybe Joy and Oyedamola has spoken so much to that. But I think maybe one major lesson I have is maybe specifically as regards to, how would I put this now? Honestly, I would say it's competency, right? There are opportunities, and I think it was only Damola that mentioned, there are opportunities that you would get rejected for, and you could beat your chest any day, anytime, that all things being considered, like, you don't want to know who they bring. If it's from the person is from Switzerland or is from planet Jupiter, you can hands down beat that person in terms of competency and qualifications, but you still end up getting rejected, right? So the honest truth is, you win some, you lose some, right? But the game changer for me is when you eventually do get opportunities, um, do not trivialize it, right? There's no how you get big enough that you begin to trivialize opportunities. From a speaking engagement, whether for free or charge, to traveling abroad, to winning a grant, whatever it is, do not trivialize opportunities. There are opportunities that I've gotten, like maybe started off unpaid, and then just because of how good I performed, like my name were recommended in rooms I was not in, and it turned out really so great for me. So for me, it's like whatever opportunity you have to show up, like show up correct, build competency, and that's why the line of opportunity meets preparation cannot be overemphasized, because a time would come, right? It could be rejections now, but the honest truth, that time would come when opportunities would come for you. But the question is, would you be prepared enough to make use of them? So I think that's it for me.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Godwin. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Indomalo. Before you give your final words, I really like what you said, Lasisi. You said, do not trivialize opportunity. There's no cut. There's no point in your life where you get to, you feel like, oh, this opportunity, no. Do never trivialize it, no matter how small. Particularly looking at your journey. That was really profound. Thank you. So before we ask for your final words, I know personally I had more questions. If our community members had specific questions for you guys, but I will advise them that if you're on the call, I also announced it on the WhatsApp group. Please connect with Oindamola, Joy, and Lasisi on LinkedIn, Instagram, and across all social media platforms to ask specific questions. Because of time, we will not have some of these specific questions being answered. But before I give room for them to share their final words, now the floor is open to community members. If you're on this call and you have any question you'd like to ask these young people who have shared so much with us this evening, I feel so inspired and I feel ready to look ready for 20. If you have any questions, please, you can just use the raise hand feature and I'll call you. Because of time, I'll just like to take 3 questions, please. So I can see Gifts, you're number 1. Sumeya is number 2. One other person, I will call it the 9th. Any other person? All right. So we'll have Gifts. I Gifts, over to you. Please unmute your mic and ask your question. Okay, I'll pick Aisha too. Aisha, well done there. Gifts, over.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Christopher and the guests, or will I say the speakers. Thank you so much for everything that you said. It has actually motivated me a lot. So I have a question, and it's related to LinkedIn, basically. So I've opened LinkedIn for a while, although I had the account before. I changed my phone and I had to open it back with my international passport and everything. But I want to ask, I've not posted anything on my LinkedIn. I don't even have a profile picture. All I've been doing is just connecting with people in my field. So I have some, let's say, things I've done, like achievements, certificates, and all, but I've not posted yet, basically because exams are around the corner and I just want to focus on that. But anytime I go there, I'll just connect and read some things related to people in my field. So I want to ask, is it okay if I just take a day off and just work on my LinkedIn account and I say I want to post everything as much as I can that I've done so far? Is it okay to just do it in a day? Like, so it will not look like I'm being so, how will I put it? I don't know, that's just the question. Is it okay to post everything around the same time, or I should give it breaks before I post the next one or something?
I love this question. Thank you so much, Gift. Fantastic question there, and it's so real. Thank you. So I see, Joy, you raised your hand. Please, over to you. Please provide response to that question.
Thank you. What's your name? What's your name, please?
Gift.
Oh, Ihmat. All right, now.
Gift. Her name is Gift.
Gift. Okay.
Yeah.
My life as a student opened doors for me. I already had my US visa with me before I even graduated. I already secured an international opportunity. You see, for students, I will always say, create balance between your academics and social life. You have to create balance until you leave the four walls of the classroom. That is when you are going to understand what life is. I keep saying it today. My life as a student my life as a student helped me to be where I am today. So you need what we call time management. Whenever you create your daily routine, create timing for social media. That certificate you are pursuing in school, don't be surprised though. You might not even work in that part after graduating from the university. This is just the reality, sincerely. So those things that you have done, you've achieved. You can create schedule. How many times do I want to be posting in a week? Okay, if I post on Monday, I'll post on Wednesday. Post everything one after the other and engage people meaningfully on LinkedIn. If possible, look for some of your friends and tag them on your posts. Tell them, please go to your WhatsApp, build community with people, join like AGI. There's something we do on that group. Whenever we post something on LinkedIn, we will drop your link there. Then you tell people to go and engage. There's no way, if Lasisi post on LinkedIn, so we go and read. So stop using your life to be reading book, socialize, post on LinkedIn, balance your life. So go and do it and stop using all your hours, all your time in school to be reading at all times. School is going to pass, but your social life is going to continue.
All right. Thank you so much, Joy. Any other person wants to provide a response? Godwin and Oyindawola to give. Okay. In the absence of that, I'll just say gift. If you go to the WhatsApp group. Okay. Godwin, over to you.
Yes. I mean, maybe I'm in a great position to answer this question because of also how I began on LinkedIn. So for my LinkedIn, right, people don't believe it, but I literally used like a whole month to build my LinkedIn to where it was. I mean, I'm not talking in terms of the numbers and in terms of followers and connections, but I'm talking about my profile, right? I used about over a month, I think the whole of August and then many parts in September. And even right now, I don't know if many of you are connected with me on LinkedIn, but my LinkedIn profile is still incomplete because there's a lot of projects that I've done, some certifications that are not even there, right? So the question is, one I would ask you, Gift, why are you even posting on LinkedIn? Maybe that's the question you want to ask yourself. Like again, like I mentioned earlier, there are persons who post on LinkedIn just because they want the clout of, oh, this person, I'm always happy to announce I clean my room. Or they give ChatGPT a prompt to write inspire to perspire. So for me, the underlying question is, why are you even posting on LinkedIn? Are you posting because you want to share your thoughts and exemplify yourself as a thought leader in your field? Or are you posting because you want to show documentation of the work that you've done? Like you've said, you've had a couple achievements. You want to post it so people can identify you with some of these achievements and offer you opportunities. Or do you just want to build a brand for yourself? Because that's also another thing. I tell people today, can I Google your name and get an inkling as to what you do or the kind of field that you identify with? So is that also something that you're looking to do? Right. And if you're able to answer all of those questions, then the question is, so how do you now begin to show up meaningfully on LinkedIn? There's a lot of people on LinkedIn, right? There's a lot of content, but the question is, how many of that is meaningful to your field or to your person? And so if you're posting, the question you're asking is, am I just posting because it's going to be there? Because at the end of the day, I mean, I started off on LinkedIn. There are times I would post, I would not even get a single like. I would not get a single comment, right? But people see it. It's just that maybe at that point in time, they know it's my papa, or probably they don't see my content as valuable, or I'm not someone in their circle, right? So the question is, when you post this, there are questions that you need to answer for yourself. And so if it's solely to post your achievements, you just told me you don't have a profile picture on LinkedIn. I mean, that bothers me really, because when you eventually even post your achievements, if you probably see Bill Gates tomorrow at a conference, and Bill Gates has been following you and he's always been looking forward to giving you an opportunity when he sees you, or maybe not even giving you an opportunity, but he constantly engages with you. He should be able to recognize you at the conference. Oh, I think I've seen this person's content online. I can't count to you the number of times I've met with global persons. I mean, from global directors at UNICEF to even the vice president of Microsoft to chairperson of EU, persons who recognize me because of the kind of work that I do online. So one, it even bothers me that you say you don't have a profile picture. For me, I think maybe the first thing you need to do is properly build up your profile, and then you can now begin to structure your posts like Joy said. So if you want to maybe put up a schedule for yourself, even up until now, I personally still struggle with posting. Many people don't believe, right? So sometimes I say, well, I want to post 3 times in a week. Eventually I end up posting only one. But I know that one time that I post, I understand that for every content that I put out is content that people consume. And so they are properly written, they speak to the kind of work that I've done, or they speak to competency, or it in many ways contributes to meaningful conversation. So it's not just me posting just because I want to post, right? So in your question is to say, oh, to post everything at once, or to put it in frequencies, right? So for me, the answer would be, I would advise that you post in schedules, put it in frequencies, because I can't imagine, even for you yourself, imagine finishing up with this webinar and joining another one immediately, and another one, and another one. Whether or not the speakers are from heaven, whether it's Angel Michael or Angel Gabriel, the honest truth is, you are a human being. You would get bored, or you would get tired physically, even if you're interested, or you lose track. You can't keep track of the information. And then the question is, who are you, right? That's also the honest question. If, for instance, I see your content on LinkedIn, even people who send me requests today, I still look at your profile. Does this person work aligns with mine? Do I want to accept the connection request, or do I just want to leave it at following them, right? Because then it also influences the kind of information I see on my feed. So I think one thing you want to do is to build a reputable profile for yourself through LinkedIn, such that when people see your content, even just by seeing your name, they can almost predict what you do. They can almost predict the kind of content they see about you. So I think you should have the answer to the question yourself, because bombarding your audience, I don't think cuts it, right? It tires them out. It would even also tire you out. Imagine seeing content from somebody like 50 in one day. It really doesn't make so much of sense, right? But what you can do is you schedule it, and then it also helps you because you have school as well. I mean, I told you, I graduated the first class. I did not do LinkedIn in school. I did not do Instagram. I mean, eventually when I graduated, I found the need and I did have these accounts, right? But for you who is in school, great, absolutely fine. Like Joy said, you should also have a life socially, because it also helps you set up and make things a lot easier after school. So what you want to do is also time yourself and give yourself that grace. So you can probably even do it 2 times a week. You post on a Monday, you post on a Friday, and you know you're done for the week, right? So I think that's also something you can do. The world is not going to end tomorrow. And even if it's will, you know you've done your part, right? But we are hoping the world really doesn't end. So schedule yourself. You have the rest of the year. I doubt you have 365 contents to post that you want to post every day. If you tell me you post twice every week, by the end of the year, that's over 100 posts on LinkedIn. and I don't know if you have 100 posts written down, you have 100 achievements written down that you want to write posts for. So I think if you time yourself, you'd be surprised at how much content you've put out, engaged people, gotten attention consistently, rather than doing it in one fell swoop. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you so much,
you.
Godwin. Thank you. And Gift, if you've not joined the Grow WhatsApp group, kindly do so. I know the email we sent, the invite email had the link to the WhatsApp group. Much later in the year, maybe next month, or remember we're doing this every month, so we'll have someone talk and take us through LinkedIn optimization, and we also have a LinkedIn challenge later on in the year. So it's really, really important. It's one of the things that we are thinking to do for the community. And just for me to add, before I give the next person time to ask question, one of the best moments of my life as a young person in Nigeria was in school. I graduated with a first class. In fact, some of my university friends are here on the score. But in as much as I was a first class graduate, I also gave my own, I also had to branch out, just like what Joy had said, just to give context to what Joy is saying. And also because Joy is really passionate about this. So it's just really important that as an undergraduate, you find time to do things outside of school. Because just like what Joy said, that school you're doing is going to come and go, but life will continue. I didn't want to get to final year and start asking myself what next. So even before final year, I started volunteering in my own very little way. It doesn't have to be big. Yes, I wanted the first class because it comes with other things, but I knew that beyond that first class, I have to be relevant outside of this place. And where will I find relevance? But at least having certain skills. And one thing I would just tell you is that volunteering gave me skills, so many skills that has continued to help me even in my professional life. Like in my professional life, I started hosting this event today. I learned how to do it from ISEC, just ISEC, the bridge program, fellowship programs that I've had to be a part of. Those things really helped me. So as a young person, I knew before I left the university, I've had a LinkedIn account. So it's really important that right now, yes, you're writing exams, focus. I'm not saying you shouldn't focus, but ensure that you at least build your profile. When I was in school, I had tons of opportunities that were coming. But even now that I've graduated, not like I'm not applying for opportunities, but in school, when they see that you're a young change maker in the university, meaning that you're studying in Nigeria and you still have time to do social impact, or you're doing something outside of school, then it shows that you shows the kind of person you are. It shows that you're a leader, you're a leader, you're a young leader. And that's what gatekeepers of global opportunities are actually looking for. So yeah, thank you so much, Gift, and we hope we've been able to answer your question. Sumaya, in 1 minute, please, your question.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Perfectly, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm a final year student, yes, and when it comes to the leadership stuff and volunteering, I would say I've done really well. I'm currently leading 2 clubs, and with my academics, I would say that is very good as well. But right now, I'm having issues with, I feel like I'm not doing things aside from my leadership, doing things for myself. And I must say that
Hi,
right now, I'm
Sumaya,
kind
your
of
voice is breaking
confused
there.
on what to do
Your
next.
voice is
At the
breaking.
end
Can
of
you
the day,
repeat the question?
okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Please, can you hear me now?
Can hear you.
Thank you. So I'll
Yeah, it's
say
better
that
now.
for leadership, I think I've done well on.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
can hear you. It's better.
Okay, I said, like I was saying, I'm a final year student, and I think all right. Okay, right now I feel like I am confused, honestly. I'm not building competence. And I heard Mr. Lassisi said that we should build competence. I feel like I'm not doing that preparation that opportunities are going to meet. I feel like I'm not doing things for myself, and I just want advice. Thank you. Like, can he be specific with how to build competence, how to just cut out the noise and then do things for myself? Like every day I wake up and I'll see. Yes, yes. So that's my question.
hear you.
Okay, I'm done with my question.
Hello.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
Lasisi
yes.
or
Yeah.
Joy heard the question, they can respond to her since Chris' network may be lagging.
Okay, all right then, great. So I mean, Sumaya, I hear you. And I mean, in many ways, I understand your position. I may not exactly be in your shoes, but I can relate to a lot of things that you've said. I had mentioned earlier, I'm not the person who was the youth leader or the change maker or the SDG guy in university. I was all books, anything that passed books, and then I did like a lot of part-time jobs in school. I was not involved in anything else. So, I mean, first, it's kudos to you that you're even trying to be in spaces like this, that you're interested in your growth, even while still trying to make headways in school. So that's, I think, it's a great start. The hunger, the drive to want to succeed is absolutely great and fantastic. Second would now be, how do you want to grow competency? Now, my first advice to you would be, I want you to just take it slow. I would advise you start off with LinkedIn really, because personally I think it has a lot of benefits. For now, you might not want to engage so much. What you want to do is probably learn. Another advice I can give is that you also reach out to me after this call, right? Because one of the advantages I've seen with being in a circle of persons who um, are passionate about your growth is that they send you opportunities, and I could be one of those persons for you, right? There's no need to say hi or hello every day, but when I do see an opportunity that I think aligns with your interest, I share it with you, right? And I think LinkedIn is one of those places. And when you constantly have those kind of interactions with not just me but persons in your circle, you begin to see these kind of opportunities for yourself. One of the questions I ask most young people when I have conversations like this with them is, can you name 10 organizations where you want to work? The CEOs of those organizations, and then the program directors of those organizations, and the specialty persons in those field of those organizations where you want to work, right? So if you probably want to work in accounting, who is the account officer of those top 10 organizations, and who is the CEOs of those organizations, right? If you know them, then my advice is that you go on LinkedIn, you go on Twitter, you go on anywhere these guys have accounts, and you follow them. The world doesn't work like it used to 15 years ago. Lives are literally digitalized online. I mean, not personalized, but literally everything that you would need to copy and paste the lives that these people have are online, right? And one thing they also do is that they share their thoughts, they share their opportunities. If there's a job waiting, if there's a course that they've taken, if they just recently took a course on some website, they post the announcement to say, I'm happy to announce I took so course. What stops you from going to search about that course? It's also one of the things that help me, because the honest truth is you don't have the luxury of one being lax about how far you take opportunities. If today I saw a professional in public health said, well, I'm happy to announce I just completed my course in climate change and health from the University of VU. The next thing I'm going to do is go and Google this course on Google, right? On some browser to see which organization is offering this course, which school is offering this course, or is it paid? Okay, if it's paid, is it worth me paying for it, or are there scholarship opportunities attached to it? How can I, okay, maybe the deadline has passed. Okay, so I put it down at the back of my mind to say, by this time next year, I should be looking forward to when this opportunity opens next, right? So things like this only happen when you even know that the opportunity exists. And how do you know when you're not in the circle of these people? So you don't need to know them, which is one of the major reasons why earlier I spoke about mentorship by observation. So many of the persons who you want to be like, or who do these amazing things that you admire, you don't have to meet them in person. You don't have to have conversations with them. Even for myself too, you don't even have to reach me, right? when I have opportunities, I post it on my social media handles, right? When I take a course, it's there on my social media handles. So I don't know what course you study. There are persons in your field who are doing amazingly well, right? So the homework for you is how do you go back to go and identify these persons, constantly follow the work that they do and be aware of the opportunities that they post, right? So I think that would be the first start for me. And then little by little, you can begin to become aware and then now intentionally begin to take little steps by your own. But I think for me, the first thing is that you need to be aware of these opportunities. You can't chase what you don't know, right? So how do you become aware? I think for me, the first place for you to go to is LinkedIn, right? And then when you know what you want to do, you've identified opportunities, you can begin to explore accounts like there are opportunities for youth, there's opportunities tracker, there's Global South opportunities, there's opportunities radar. There's a lot of opportunities. If you go on Google right now also to search top 10 Instagram account or top 10 LinkedIn accounts that constantly post opportunities for people in Nigeria or globally, you would get a list. If you want to specify it down to your niche, if it's pharmacy or health or education, top 10 organizations that post opportunities for professionals or young people in education, you get a list. And so the question is, you go there and follow them, turn on post notifications such that you don't miss anything that comes out from there, right? So I think for me, it's that you need to be aware of the opportunities in your field. When you are aware, then you can now move on to the stage where you can now begin to apply for these opportunities. You now begin to build your discipline to ensure that, oh, even now that you know these opportunities exist, how do you ensure that you actually do apply, right? You don't procrastinate so you don't miss them, because it's a different thing from knowing they exist. It's a different thing from actually putting in the application or building the skill, right? So I think that's one thing. Also, yeah, skills that you might need that you probably don't even know that you need, right? And that's why I say you need to know people who do well in your field, because they are the ones that have the skills already. So if you see someone who you admire in your field says, oh, I recently just earned the certification in SPSS or in coding or in UI UX, then you know that, oh, if this person is working in my field, then it means I also need to get the skill, right? And then you now begin to go and do research on how you get this skill, or which organization offers courses on it, or what scholarship opportunities exist and all of that. So for me, I think that's the first step, and then from then on you can move forward.
All right, so thank you so much, Godwin. Thank you. So I'll take Aisha. Aisha, please, your question over to you. In 1 minute, please. You're press the time.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to all our speakers. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be in this part of Impactful Gathering. My question is on mentorship, like the proper way to get mentorship, and also you know that there are some people that we see them as our role models. Okay, maybe we are following them on LinkedIn or other social media platform. So how do we get their attention in order for us to be able to ask our questions that we have for them? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Aisha, for that really beautiful question. I would like to hear Windamola share thoughts on this, then either Joy or Godwin.
Okay, please can she repeat the question? I can
Aisha, please can you repeat your question?
I said my question is, how do you get the attention of the people you see as your role model, like to give you a mentorship? Like now, for example, maybe I have seen Mr. Lasisi and I want to talk to him. Maybe I follow him on his LinkedIn. So how do I get him to respond to my questions that I have for him?
Mm. Okay, so I would say that when starting out, it's good to get mentored by them, but don't let that be your sole focus. Commit to learning. And if we say learning, these resources are easily accessible. YouTube, even from people's posts, you can make deeper research about what they talk about. Even ask them questions, comment on their post, ask them questions that will probably lead to more conversations. But you start learning, you start executing, and you start documenting. And even as you do that, you'll attract people. Some of whom will be your colleagues, some of whom will be impressed by your work and know you can connect with them and learn from. And when you are eventually reaching out to these mentors you want to learn from, and they also go through your page, you see that, oh, you're already doing some work, you already have a track record, you already have a portfolio. So you're a valuable person. So it's easier to build a relationship with that, not just because you're not the only one seeking mentorship from them. There are countless other people seeking mentorship from them. So they are also filtering people as much as they can, because they're also human beings and they have other things they're doing and don't have all the time in the world to mentor everyone or everybody. But when you start with what you have in your own corner, you you get their attention one way or the other. Meaning, if they're meant to be together with your journey, you might even maybe even speak together at at a conference. I mean, imagine I wanted to be, I guess, someone like maybe Godwin attention. Maybe I've known you before, and we are speaking together on this platform. It's going to be easy for me to reach out and say, oh, I Godwin, Amoinda Mola, we met here, we spoke here, and also things like that. But start learning with whatever resources you can from their social media posts, YouTube, books, courses. Start executing, start documenting, put yourself out there. You attract people. And when you eventually reach out to them, there are just many other ways you can even connect with them without sometimes even reaching out personally, that you get their attention. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Damola. Because of time, I'll just take Noah. Noah, your question in 1 minute. Thank you.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay, my question is for Mr. Godwin, about rejection. So recently, I got rejected from a place I wanted so much, and you understand how it is when you get rejected, it hurts a lot. I mean, yes, try to move up for it, but how do you suggest, um, like, of course, where you want somewhere, if you want somewhere so much, right, and you didn't get that place, of course, it will hurt a lot. So what do you suggest? How do you channel that? Or what will you suggest are the next steps that I take?
All right, Lasisi, over to you, Lasisi. Godwin. Thank you, Noah, for that question. Godwin, if you can hear us.
Okay, all right then. Thank you so much. I hear you. Right. Now, like you said, of course you could. So I will maybe speak to maybe three. I would call it strategies, for lack of a better word, if I'm just being a consultant. But yes, three strategies that you can actually use to move on with rejection. So one is you try again, right? So throughout my NYSC period, trying to get a PPA, I did not get a PPA until my 6th month. So which means for the first 6 months, I was just getting rejected. Officially, I had 15, like I had 15 letters that were stamped rejected. Unofficially, meaning the ones that I went to the organizations to just go and ask, oh, I'm looking for a PPA. Is there an opportunity? Can I work here? And for various reasons, oh, we are past that capacity, or we don't accept corpers. And for various reasons, I can promise you, I'm not even lying. It's more than 50. Those are the number of organizations I went to, right? And these are places that I actually wanted to go because I worked right up there. They were international organizations, some were diplomatic, some were, a lot of them really, right? And then the question was, oh, so if I get rejected here, does that mean that's the end? Like, I owe it to myself to grow, and which is one of the major things I tell people. Personal growth is as personal as it gets. Like, there's nobody else but you. I'm a very strong believer in God, but I think, and I strongly believe that God helps those who helps themselves. If you get rejected, and you decide to stop, okay, so what? Like, that's the end really for you. So on what premise do you possibly get other opportunities that if you keep trying, right? And which is why I say when you chase opportunities, there are two things you consider. What do you have to lose? And the honest truth is you don't lose anything in trying. Okay, you are rejected. That's exactly the same thing that would have happened if you did not even apply in the first place. Right. So those are outcomes that in the all sense of it, they eventually will come, either of them. It's either you get it or you don't, right? So if you understand that, then you know that these opportunities, when you apply for them, be it jobs and all of that, it's just the one for you that's going to come. And which is why also you need to be honest with yourself. So there's also the part of competency. Now, I currently work with Sidani Group as a business development officer. Sidani Group was one of the places I actually went to when I was trying to get a PP, and I was rejected, right? They said they don't accept corpers. And then I went back. I think after about a month, they opened PP applications for their fellowship program. And I applied. I passed through their assessment test. After the assessment test, I got to the interview stage and I got dropped off at the interview stage. I did not scale through. And that was the end for that. And then the following year, I'd been done with NYSC. Of course, then I already had grew my competency. Now, saying competency in terms of I've done a lot of work in development space, or I've won grants. And then at that point, I just needed a corporate experience, not necessarily because I needed a job, but I just needed a corporate experience. I wanted to work with a 9-to-5 organization to get that formal experience. And then I applied and I scaled through, right? And that was 2024, end of the year I'd applied. And I started working with Sidani in January last year. And I got in, right? So the honest truth is these opportunities are always going to be there, right? I got rejected with Sidani and then I tried again the next year. By then, I already grown. I'd taken courses. I'd actively volunteered in the field. The questions that they asked, I could answer them not just because I knew them, but I could answer them because it's stuff that I've actually done, right? So I'd grown myself. So for you, it's like, how bad do you even want the opportunity? Okay, great, you were rejected this year. So next year, it means it's going to open again, like, because these guys, there's attrition, people leave and all of that. So it's going to open again. So the question is, how bad do you even want it? Are you applying again next year? What do you need to do so that you're better prepared next year? So that even when the opportunity comes, at that point, maybe you haven't seen, I'm even going for something better. And it has happened to me multiple times. Early last year, January, I had applied to an opportunity to exhibit one of my artworks, right? I think it was about 500,000 naira. That was the winning prize money. Now, my artwork did not get selected. I did not even get shortlisted for top 5. That was early January last year. Now, I think around late quarter of last year, I'd applied for, not the same organization now. I'd applied for another opportunity similarly to exhibit my artwork. Now, the opportunity was not just to exhibit my artwork, but the opportunity came with the prize money of 1 million naira. It came with a fully funded trip to exhibit my artwork and all of that. Now, what happened then was that the following day, when the exhibition was supposed to happen, I was called to volunteer for UNICEF for a conference to be a rapporteur. And the conference was health focused. Now, this is something that I wanted because I applied to actually exhibit my artwork and I was selected, right? I would be traveled, I would be housed, free accommodation, put in a flight, feeding covered, I'd be given daily stipends and all of that. Amazing opportunity, but it was clashing with something else here in Abuja. It was a conference I had to volunteer for UNICEF. And funny how the conference was not even paid, it was a volunteer work. Now, the honest truth was, I rejected the opportunity, the fully funded one, the one that came with the flight, right? This is something that 6 months before then, I'd actually applied for something similar to that and I was rejected and I beat myself over it. And then later on in the year, I did another better artwork and I got selected, but I rejected it then because of priorities, because I felt like the health-related conference with UNICEF was of more priority to me than my art-related work, right? So then priority has changed. So for you, it's like the opportunities that you won't think that you're getting rejected today. I promise you, if you work on yourself and you probably apply for it again next year when the call opens, it's possible that something better would have come, right? And so I think most of this comes with experience, right? If this opportunity comes again or the next one comes even this year, if it's not even that same one, you can cross-apply your learnings from this one. So you be honest with yourself to say, oh, was it in your interview that you probably made some mistakes? Or was it in your essay or something, right? Or is it that you did not apply early? You consider all of the things that made you fail or made you not get selected. And then you ensure that moving forward, all of those doesn't happen. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. I will not be taking any questions again. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We're past our time already. Judith Odachi, good evening. I just saw your message in the chat box. So please reach out to Lasisi Godwin. You can search him on LinkedIn and connect, or even on Instagram. And to our other panelists, Joy, Oidamola, you all can search them on social media and you connect to them perfectly. I would just like to ask, I'll start with Joy for this. Just your final words in 1 minute, please. Your final words, just charge us. I'll call it the night. Joy, then I'll go with Oindamola, then Lasisi. Joy, over to you.
Okay, my final word to everyone here tonight is ensure you build meaningful community building. Build sustainable friendship and sustainable relationship. The kind of person you are is what you're going to attract. So if you are still in the university right now, you check out your circle. Does our belief system, what we want to achieve together, does it align? Yes, I understand that part of fear. What if I fail? Do it afraid. Do it, connect with people, apply for opportunities, even though you'll be rejected, apply for it. Last year, I applied for more than 100 opportunity, and you won't believe just 2 or 3% out of them clicked. And those ones that have clicked, they are my success story. So do it afraid, put out yourself, brand yourself, check out the profiles of those who are building career in that part in which you have, be it entrepreneurship, governance, politics, climate. Look at their life and create something beautiful and great out of it. And never forget to know that rejection is part of the process. They build you, they shape you, and they also put you towards the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy. I really appreciate your final words. The rejection points you to the right direction. Some rejection are actually redirection in disguise. So thank you. Oindamala, your final words, please.
Okay, I would say that keep learning, have that growth mindset, and as you learn, execute, do not delay, and take feedback from your action from other people. Try to always refine your process, aim for excellence, keep learning, keep being innovative and creative, and even sooner than you expect, you will reach your target, even exceed your target. Be a student for life. And also try having fun while at it, really. I know it's not always all the time, but find ways to also create some meaning, some fun, some happiness for yourself. So that's what I'll say. Thank you for the privilege to share my thoughts with your community.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Oindamala. Godwin, your final words, please. Thank you, Oindamala. I really appreciate that.
Okay, all right then. Final words. First, I would say I feel like just have something you believe in. I'm not an atheist and I'm not a traditional worshiper, so I don't know about those who worship stone. Um, I'm a Christian, and for me, I'd say if you're a Muslim, if it's Allah, you're a Christian, it's God. Like have your path aligned with God, because I think for many times in my life, that's the only person I just can run to be honest, right? Um, you should have that central belief system in a power above your own, because I really don't believe in anything that happens by chance, right? That's one. And second, for me, I would say it's personal growth. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll probably just emphasize personal growth is as personal as it gets. Um, and innovation is a new collaboration. Ensure that in your you have a community of people whose purpose aligns with yours. It could be virtually, they could know you, they could not. You could learn from them, and then just follow the work that they do. There are many persons that have messaged over my life, oh, and some of them responded, some of them didn't. But what my emphasis on was to learn, right? So for me, it's like just ensure that you do have a community that you learn from, and then you take your growth, personal growth seriously, because nobody's going to do it for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. Oindamola, Lasisi, Godwin, Joy. I don't know about any other person here, but I think I've had a very amazing evening. You all made my weekend with everything you shared. And it's so funny just to share that today is the last day in January 2026. To everyone on this call, I don't know how January was for you. For some, January was pretty rough. For some, January was pretty testing the waters to see how the new year is going to look like. But I just want to remind you that time is swiftly passing, and very soon the year is going to end. And you'll be celebrating another birthday. Or for those of you who've celebrated your birthdays in January, Joy and even Lasisi have celebrated their birthdays this year already. You're not getting any younger. So what kind of life do you want to build? What kind of life do you want to have? Let's say in the next 10, 20 years, where do you really see yourself? In January, at the during the new year, I remember I shared something on the Grow WhatsApp group. I don't know for those of you on this call who really use that, but tomorrow again, I'll share a personal development tracker. Document your goals, write your goals, build your vision board. It's not too late. Some people's new year starts tomorrow, February 1st. Some starts August, some start September. Just build the life that you want and don't just be on this call 2 hours plus and you just think with you won't pick like the lessons that have been shared so far. It's a prayer that you continue to grow, and they've all said everything here. Build having the right mindset, having the right community for grow. Grow is your community already. You're not on our WhatsApp platform. I don't know where else you want to be on, but just be on our WhatsApp platform. We share lots of opportunities. We are there to encourage you, to motivate you, to see you becoming a better version of yourself. And when we get a better version of you, we'll have a better version of Nigeria. So I'm just going to stop there. It's been really nice. Thank you so much, Indamola. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I've always looked forward to having you speak to members of this community, and this is a dream come true for me. And it's also the same with Godwin. Godwin, you really inspire so many of us on this call. You inspire a lot of us, and we're really grateful. I'll just say that God, you don't even speak your age. Same with Joy, same with you guys don't speak your age. You guys are in your 20s, but you understand. Joy, we love your passion, we love your energy, we love everything you've brought to this tonight's conversation, and you really inspire us. I've watched you grow from far from being. I've really watched you grow, Joy. So thank you so much. Just to end, I would like to tell you that we need your feedback. Please, if you have your phone, you can quickly go and scan the QR code there and give us feedback on how you felt tonight's event was and what we can do better. We are Grow. We appreciate feedback. We want feedback, please. And we're going to send an email next week. An email is going to contain the feedback link and also the feedback. We really appreciate that. Then we have we have announcements. If you're on the Grow WhatsApp group, you've been seeing that we've been sharing opportunities. Yes, opportunities for NYSC graduate training. I don't know, I forgot to add it to the slide here, but yeah, right now we're trying to see how we can, an organization called Rising Consultants looking for NYSC graduate trainees, and we are prioritizing those in the Grow community. I know from the application link, it's clear that we have lots of core members here or aspiring core members. Some of you are even undergraduates, and if you you'll be going to camp, or you're already in camp, or you left camp in December and you're looking for a PPA, you can reach out to me, Chris, on the Go WhatsApp group. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this meeting. It's been really wonderful. I've had a very wonderful session. Ariel, thank you so much for the message. I've also shared the link to the feedback form. Please, we need your feedback. And I'll see you all next month. Next month, we're going to bring in other we don't know who we're bringing in for now, but we're going to bring people of high value, people who learn from motivate us and make us become better versions of ourselves. Thank you so much. It's been really, really great having you all here. Good night. To our panelists, to all our senior colleagues, the advisors that have joined. Thank you so much to everyone that have joined, to everyone who has contributed, gifts, Asha, Sumeya, Ariel, single one of you. But I don't know if you guys heard me. I'm really sorry. I think my internet has been really bad. So it's good night here. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Thank you, Lasisi. I still see you on the call. Sally, Noah, Evelyn, Mobo, Ebenezer, Benjamin. Good night. Thank you.